Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could, look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out. When we're coaching people who are really struggling with change, we have to think about a sequence of questions, activities, and learning projects. Now, let me narrate why questions. Questions help us build self-awareness in the person we're coaching, yet they also give us clarification of why the change is being resisted. The activities facilitate movement, practice, application of positive change. Now, the learning project is something that really bestows ownership and accountability on the rightful owner. So let me demonstrate. When you think about change, the first question might be, when you think about the word change, Gary, what goes through your mind? What are you going to do to overcome that, Gary? What are some positive steps you could take, Gary, to embrace and drive that change? Now, if you happen to have somebody who's a yeah, but person, they'll answer and say, but I already have a lot to do. Insert something called a rule of engagement. So, Gary, without saying the word but, and without bringing up your present workload, I certainly want to talk about that. Walk me through 3 steps you're going to take to successfully embrace this change. And through those questions, you start to chip away a little bit at the resistance. Now, the activity might be, well, Gary, let's look at your present workload. Let's dissect it. Let's work backwards. Let's look at some of the time elements. And let's really start to understand what you need to do for that to become more palatable for you, and for you to really drive that workload that you currently have, as well as the embracing of the current transformation. Now, the learning project is critical. I might say, Gary, I want you to come in every week with 2 examples of where you're having success driving our current transformation movement, and 1 example of where your current workload is still garnering success. Now, I know that there's going to be some things that'll be hit or inhibited, and we'll continue to chip away at those together. The learning project gets him, in this hypothetical case, to own the current change. People will come up with ways to resist. They will try something once and say, well, it didn't work, which is their permission to themselves to give up. So when you ask questions, you build awareness. When you ask questions, you gain clarification of why. The activities help you strategize and implement and apply, from a coaching perspective, what that person needs to do to ultimately become less resistant. And last, the learning project bestows accountability, again, and ownership on the rightful owner, the person that you're coaching. See, it's easier not to change than it is to change, because it feels like a mountain to people. So if you strategize and craft questions, activities, and learning projects to work together, you will start to erode the resistance. It will not happen overnight, yet the questions and the application of ownership and accountability will drive it in the right direction. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn, and more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called
coach to you. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.